Hey, this is Ryan O'Neill with Focus 5, just here to help out some youth pastors with a few ideas on how to be creative. Number one way to be creative is use what you have. Don't try to worry about what you don't have. Don't allow yourself to get aggravated about your limits. Just use everything that you have. A lot of people say, well, we want to make a cool video for the youth group, and we just don't have the equipment to make it, and we don't have the people who know how to really edit videos very well. Well, that's cool. Well, if you don't have a professional camera, then make sure that you create a video that doesn't look like it's supposed to be on a professional camera. If all you have is a cell phone camera, make sure that the videos you create seem like they were supposed to have been created on a cell phone camera, like somebody caught something when it was happening. And if you want to make a special announcement or do something for your youth group, make it look like that's what you were doing. And all of a sudden, what is a limitation becomes now a creative output and something that's a new way to do things. So use everything that you have. If you have access to it, then use it. You will spend more time complaining about why you don't have it and how you're in such a bad problem that you will lose the propensity and the ability that you have to make a difference. Stop complaining about it. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. If you don't have the time, you don't have the time for that. Start doing what you can do and do it with all your heart. There's resources that you don't think about. We were redoing our youth room. We didn't have a ton of money to do it, but we went and we used resources we had in people. We had electricians in the church and people who built houses in our church. And we actually, our youth group, what name when I was a youth pastor in Arkansas was called Upside Down Youth. And we created a youth room that was completely flipped upside down. And we had a couch, and we wanted it on the ceiling. And this couch, I didn't know how to put it on the ceiling, but we did have some construction guys in our church, and they literally flipped the couch upside down, and it's on the ceiling to this day with a living room look in our youth room. And it's so cool, and it's such a creative idea, and it's not something that I could do by myself, but I used a resource. I had them, I didn't ignore them, I used them. So use everything that you have. The number two thing is lift the ability to be able to get more things. Now, I'm not saying to necessarily get more money so that you can afford more. No. You need to lift your creative ability. Spend time studying stuff. That couch I talked about, we didn't go out and buy a big expensive couch. We were tempted just to be done with it, to buy an expensive couch, to drop $200 on it. But finally we settled. I mean, it was a big deal us changing the youth room around, but finally we said, okay, we're going to go up and we're going to go to all of these Goodwill type places called Savers, and we've got to be able to find one. And they had a couch for $50. We found the perfect couch for what we were looking for, and that was the biggest piece of our youth room. So all we did was, instead of complaining about what we don't have, we said, all right, let's lift our ability. Let's find places and lift our knowledge of places that would have something we need. That's just not in the real world, but even online. You need to have resources online. Don't settle back and say, well, I don't have very much if you haven't been looking. Expand the resources that you have. Go to different places. Find different blogs that you can follow. Go to Pinterest. I mean, have the youth pastor's wife. The guys, I don't think you're supposed to be on it, but the women are allowed to, evidently. And so have her get on Pinterest and find some cool ideas for the youth room that you can be able to do for cheap, that are free, that you're expanding your resources. So do those two things, but then the last and most important thing with creativity is never let creativity take the place of the presence of God. Never let creativity take the place of something that God's wanting to do. So many times we can become so dependent on the people who are being creative and the person who's doing the slideshow or the video or the people who are doing the music, and we become so dependent on their creativity that we place that in front of the presence of God and God actually moving. That is the number one thing with creativity. The way to become more creative than ever is to let the one who was the creator in the beginning step in and actually create. We can become so focused on being out of the box and creative that we forget that God was the original creator. He created everything that there is, and there's nothing new under the sun. If you will let Him, He'll come in and create things in your young people that you could not have done done with any video, that you could have done with any game or anything like that, if you let God the Creator come in and worship the Creator more than the creation. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. Hopefully this helped.